Verse 7, Sri Vishnu Sahasranaama Stotra. Agrahyah Shasvatah Krishno Lohitakshaka Pratardhanah Prabhutastrikakubdhamaha Pavitram Mangalam Param. Agrahyah Shasvatah Krishna Lohitakshah Pratardhanah Prabhutah Trikakubdhamaha Pavitram Mangalam Param. Agrahyaha, ungraspable by any of the senses or by the mind or even by the intellect. Shaswataha, ever existing. Krishnaha, eternal bliss. Lohitakshaha, red-eyed. The red eyes denoting anger towards the unrighteous. Pratardhanaha, destroyer of the unrighteous beings. Prabhutaha, well endowed with wisdom and Shat Gunaas, the six noble qualities. Trikakubdhamaha, the base, the substratum of the three regions. Pavitram, holy. Mangalam Param, very recitation of his name, chanting of his names are beneficent and the best way for salvation. Agrahyaha, ungraspable. He cannot be perceived by any of the sense organs because he is not an object of perception, but he is the very subject, one who is the perceiver in all that is perceived. He is a seer through our eyes. He is a hearer through the ears of everybody. So he is a feeler. He is a thinker in us. So obviously he cannot be seen, perceived by any of these senses, which themselves are subject to his grace. The subject can never become the object, and hence the Supreme is something, is someone that the sense organs cannot ever apprehend, as they do with any other sense objects. The Supreme is the one subject ever perceiving all the objects through all the sense organs of all the living creatures everywhere and at all times. The Lord is the subject not only in the sense organs, but he is also the feeler in the mind and the thinker in the intellect. The sense organs, therefore, cannot perceive it. The mind cannot feel it. The intellect cannot apprehend it. Hence, the Upanishad declares, Yato vacha nivartante aprapya manasa saha. The Supreme is that, the Brahman is that, from which words retire unapproached. That means, if you try to approach the Supreme through mere words, those words return back, being unsuccessful to apprehend him. And the words, along with the mind, manasa saha, along with the mind, everything returns. That means these cannot attain him. Hence he is agrahyaha, imperceptible, and incomprehensible to the senses. Yet manasa na manute, that which cannot be apprehended by the mind. Yato chakshusha na pashyanti, that which cannot be seen by the eyes. Keno Upanishad. So this is the broad understanding of the term agrahyaha. The Supreme who transcends time, who is beyond the very concept of time, The time itself has arisen from him. So such a supreme is ever existing. Shaswataha. Shaswataha means ever existing. Existing from even before the beginning of time. Even before the concept of time came into existence, he has been existing even before that. Vishnu is permanent. He remains the same at all the times. Being permanent, he remains changeless in the three periods of the time, that is, the past, the present, and the future. That means he is totally unconditioned by time. He is the one who transcends time. The Supreme Consciousness itself is a very illuminator of time. The illuminator can never be affected by what it illumines. The changeless reality is Vishnu. Vishnu is worshipped as Shaswatam, Shaspatagum, Shivam, Achyutam. For example, when we say in the earlier sentence that illuminator can never be affected by what it illumines, maybe we can try to explain this. Suppose in a darkness, we have a torch, and the torch light, we are able to see everything around. But the same light, can it see the torch itself? No. The light emanating from the torch cannot see the torch. Torch is a means to see everything else, not it itself. Similarly, the Supreme is the one which illuminates others. So it cannot be seen by what? By the illumination. This changeless reality is Vishnu. Vishnu is therefore worshipped as Shaswatagum, Shivam, Achyutam. Being permanent is extremely auspicious. He never slips or falls. The Supreme is personification of supreme bliss, denoted by Krishna, eternal bliss. Krishna can mean lot of things. Krishna can mean eternal bliss. The word Krishna in Sanskrit literally means dark. Dark because the truth that is intellectually appreciated but spiritually not apprehended is considered as veiled behind some darkness. It is hidden by Maya. So it is considered to be dark, not visible, not clear. The root Krish means existence, that is Satta, and Na means bliss. So Krish plus Na means existence plus bliss. Satta Ananda, Sadananda, Udyoga Parva in Mahabharata. Thus, the very name Krishna represents the Supreme Paramatman. In Mahabharata, in Shanti Parva, Krishna himself declares, he says, as my color is dark blue, I am called Krishna. Oh Arjuna, he is telling Arjuna, why I am called Krishna? I am called Krishna because my color is dark blue. Now, further, Krishna has another meaning. Krishna also means Akarshana. He is the one who enchants all his devotees. He is the enchanter of all his devotees. So, he is called Krishna. Now, truth is irresistibly attracts everybody towards itself. Krishna means one who sweeps away the sins in the heart of those who meditate upon him. Truth has got a magnetism to attract to itself all the ego and egocentric passions of the individuals. One more thing, Krishna is not a deity of the farmyard in agricultural estate. We have to understand Krishna as the one who plows the hard stupidities in us. He prepares our heart field and weeds out all the poisonous growths of sin, and therefore thereby he cultivates in our purified heart pure bliss, which is the nature of reality. Pure bliss is nothing but the supreme Parabrahman. So this is the significance of the term Krishna. Krishna Varna, Krishna color. Krishna color, it denotes supreme bliss. Whereas in the very next name, which is Lohitakshaha, that means Lohita Akshaha, red eye. The indication is towards anger, and anger is directed towards the unrighteous. Lohitakshaha, it actually means Arunakanti, reddish color. Early morning sun is having that particular Arunakanti. So that is the one which dispels darkness of ignorance. The way on sun, when the sun rises, the early morning light dispels the darkness of the night. Similarly, the Arunakanti, the grace of the Supreme Krishna, Supreme Mahavishnu, dispels the darkness of ignorance. So Lord is described, is said to have eyes like the hibiscus, red lotus, reddish color. And generally speaking, red eyes or what we call ruddy eyes represents anger. Now, this anger is there, but this anger is for destroying the evil and protection of the virtuous. For example, the redness, the red eyes of Narasimha, the man-lion manifestation of Mahavishnu, was frightening for Hiranyakashipu, but not for Prahalada. The redness of the early morning sun dispels the darkness of the night. So also the red-eyed Lord dispels the darkness of our ignorance. The anger is therefore only towards the evil-minded materialists who live ignoring the higher values of life. It is they who have to worry about the redness of eyes. They have to worry about the Lohitakshaha. Now, apart from this, the Supreme is also named Pratardhanaha, Pratardhanaha, the destroyer, and this happens during Pralaya. The root Tarda, Tarda means destruction, and once the prefix pra is added, it means supreme destruction. That means Mahavishnu is the one who does total destruction, pratardhanaha. This is also the name of the Lord in the form of a Rudra, and this becomes active at the time of the great dissolution called pralaya. Laya is dissolution. Pralaya is great dissolution. Although the Supreme is considered the destroyer during pralaya, otherwise he is the bestower of Gnana and Aishwarya. He is called Prabhutaha. Prabhutaha means one who is well endowed with wisdom and a Shat Gunaas. Shat Gunaas, six Gunas, six attributes. Now, what are these six attributes? Gnana, knowledge, Bala, strength, Aishwarya, prosperity, Virya, vigor, Shakti, power, Evam, Tejaha, and effulgence. Prabhutaha means he is born full because he is ever full. The Lord is ever full and perfect in his essential nature as the transcendental reality. Or even when he manifests in the form of his various incarnations, he retains all the great qualities, great power of Mahavishnu himself. So, whether it is Rama or a Krishna or a Parashurama, Narasimha, any of these manifestations, he has all the powers, all the Prabhutaha, of Mahavishnu himself. Krishna proved himself, especially this was very, very visible and apparent in the glorious incarnation as Krishna. Because as Rama, he did not show. He appeared to be very, very subdued and quiet. The strength of Rama was very, very subtle, whereas Krishna, his magic, his power was more explicit. Krishna proved himself to be ever full with his omnipotency and omniscience. The Supreme is protector not just of our world, but he is the base or support of the three regions, Trikakubdhamaha, all the three worlds. Trikakubdhamaha, that means he is the base, he is the foundation, he is the substratum of all the three. Trikakubdhamaha, all the three worlds. Now, Trikakubdhama, Trikakub, it refers to, maybe it can refer to all the 8 quarters, or it can refer to three regions or realms, one above, one below, and middle. It can refer to our world, earth, the heaven, and the nether world. It can also mean, it can refer to three planes of consciousness: the waking state, Jagrit Avastha, the dream state, Swapna Avastha, deep sleep state, Sushupti Avastha. It can refer all to three. But more than these three, the most important is the fourth plane of consciousness called Turiya, and which can be attained only when we transcend, we cross over all these three stages. And Turiya is a substratum, is a support for all the earlier three planes. The Supreme is therefore regarded by one and all as extremely holy, Pavitram. Pavitram means holy, one who gives purity to the heart. He is pure himself. Not only he is pure, but he imparts purity to all the seekers. He imparts purity to the heart, purity to the thinking of the devotees. The term Pavi means, refers to Indra's weapon Vajra, the thunderbolt, Vajrayudha. The term Tram means saving his devotees. Saving his devotees. Now, this is a very interesting meaning. Pavitram can mean Mahavishnu will save his devotees even from the Vajrayudha, the most powerful weapon of Lord Indra. Even from that, we get protection. Now, when this you understood in this sense, immediately our mind goes to Govardhan Giridhari, Govardhan Giri episode. As we know, and Krishna motivated, convinced all the gopis, and the Yadava leaders to worship the Govardhana mountain and not Indra. So everybody listened to Krishna and they did that. And because of this, Indra got extremely angry. Indra, in his foolish arrogance, wanted to teach a lesson to the innocent Gopas. He reigned, he ordered, he continuously reigned with rain, hailstorm, storm, everything, wind, gale. He tried everything to terrorize the Gopas, but he forgot Krishna was there to save them. Krishna effortlessly, smilingly lifted the entire Govardhana mountain on his little finger as a huge umbrella and held it in that position, very stable in that position for 7 days and 7 nights, all the time during which Indra was trying to show his arrogance and his power. After 7 days, Indra realized his limitations. He comes and begs pardon from Arjuna, from Krishna. And Krishna, mind you, was only a little boy at that time. So Krishna is the one who can protect us even from the wrath of Indra. What to speak of any other things? Now, what does Indra? Here, Indra denotes the mind. Indra denotes the mind, Indriya. He is the boss of the Indriyas. Five Indriyas, their controller is the mind. So Indra denotes the mind. The thunderbolt in the hands of Indra denotes the mind's working at cross purposes, confusions, intellectual compromises. These can destroy in no time all the acquired virtue and tapas of even great sadhakas. Now, how to get protection from this Indra, that is our mind, and its vagaries of our mind? How to get protection from that? Only way is deep devotion, ardent meditation, and firm faith in Lord Vishnu. He alone can save a sadhaka from such mental storms. How beautiful is this name, Pavitram. Therefore, his Namasmarana, very Namasmarana of Mahavishnu, Keshavanama, itself is beneficent and it is the best. So it's called Mangalam Param. Mangalam is that which not only removes the dark pains of evil, but also brings the bright joys of merit. It takes away the dark pains of evil and brings in the joys of merit. Paramamangalam is Supreme Mangalam, and it can be none other than the Supreme Himself, none other than the Brahman, none other than Mahavishnu, by whose mere remembrance all inauspiciousness will get totally dispelled. All auspiciousness comes to flood our hearts. The Upanishad declares, May that Brahman, who by mere remembrance of him, who by a mere remembrance of him removes all inauspiciousness and gives all auspiciousness. This is the concept of Brahman or the Supreme or the super consciousness, the truth, whatever name we like to give. It is the one, it removes all inauspiciousness and brings in all auspiciousness. How? By mere remembrance of Mahavishnu. Okay. So with this, we'll conclude this verse. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrutyorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.